Hey everybody, back up Ben here from the Bonehead podcast because a regular Ben is off building a studio, which is very cool. So I'm taking over to unbox and review the Blood and Flame Kickstarter from Punga Miniatures. They very kindly sent us a big box of witch hunters, which are rad, and I'm really excited to get into them, and a teeny tiny box of vampires, which is really cool because obviously vampires have just come out. It's a very timely release, and yeah, let's talk about it. Okay, so diving in, as you can see at the time of recording, there's 4 days on the release. I'm really hoping this goes up before then, because otherwise this video is a bit redundant. But yeah, currently if you head to Kickstarter, you can back this. Well, not many days left, but they've smashed their goal already, so it's looking really good. I'm going to scroll down. So there's 2 teams for this Kickstarter. There are Witch Hunters, which are actually a secret league in Fumble. A secret league team in Fumble, but they've made these to be compatible with humans and nobility, which I think is just great. I think there's also something else as well. So let's scroll down. So Witch Hunters, you've got these amazing old school style, like Inquisition Witch Hunters from like Mordheim. These are amazing. Like Warhammer needs to bring back more of these. I think they're like the coolest theme in Warhammer. They're iconically Warhammer. And yeah, absolutely love these. You've got various sculpts. So here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, great for a human team. 4 blitzers, perfect. They all look great. I love their stakes because obviously they're paired up with vampires. You have an ogre, which is very cool. So again, for humans or nobility, having an ogre is really nice. You got your linemen, which look like proper like peasants from like the old world, which is again brilliant. They look just janky enough to be nobility linemen with their busted agility. So really like that. I love some of these, like just like they just look so weak, which I really enjoy. Yeah, we got more alignment. We got these, which are really cool. So they've added priests in, like warrior priests, which is again another like superb take. So in the secret team, there are warrior priest positionals, and here they've supplemented them to be like your bodyguards in ability. They look bigger. They are bigger. A bit sturdier. They've got so much armor. These like sensors, which are just divine. The book. Everyone needs a book. And then they've also added catchers, so we're not so much on the ability team, but on the human team, you want your strength 2 catchers. They've added them as flagellants, which is just so good. So you've got these, like, stripped bare, really old, withered-looking dudes, like, reaching out for prayer, but it works so well as a catcher. I think really creative, really creative. I absolutely love it. I believe flagellants are a position on the secret team as well. Your classic throwers look amazing. I love this running pose. I'd love to see more throwers with that. So this is like, you know, your standard thrower pose, which a lot of teams do, but having them there where they're like running to yeet it across the pitch, absolutely huge fan. And of course, a couple of halflings, because humans have some halflings and these are so good, man. Feather caps make everything better. So yeah, you can see the full team here today. You see the full team here below. Which yeah, I mean, it's a lot of models. Price is a lot, which Punga teams are. They are worth it in my opinion, and yeah, I mean, it's saying yeah, it's the big bundle is when you get the extra positionals. So you can get the Witch Hunters team, where you get the lineman throwers, Witch Hunter priests, blitzers, and the ogre. So you don't get the catchers. So that'll be like for your nobility team. And then if you want to get the big bundle, that's the £89 one, which includes the catchers and the halflings, which I don't think the other one did either. So yeah, I mean, I'd probably recommend the big one because then it's 2 teams. I'm going to be running these as humans for sure. It's weird, there's not that many really awesome human teams for like third party. Like there's a few going around, but none have really stood out to me as like, okay, this is like the best human team you can get. Now we have it. In my opinion, best human team. Absolutely love it. Not paid. They sent us the models, just FYI. But I'm a huge Punga fan. So yeah. And then moving on, we have the vampires. So we have, again, it's a odd time to release vampires. It could be a good time, could be an odd time. We now know a few more details about the roster. Punga seem to have prepared for that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vampires, which is solid because there's 6 types now. There's a couple which look a bit slighter, like this one, for example. Maybe this one that could be like a runner. Differentiating them on the new teams might be a bit more challenging. I think you may need to label them somehow. But the thralls are awesome. The masks are really fun. They just look like proper vampire chaff. I'm a huge fan of them. I think they could look a little bit more withered, but I do like this style. I like what they've done with the renders. I believe these are renders and not just using the Grebo levels of ridiculous photographic painting. But yeah, they look cool. So you got the classic on the line pose. Always my least favorite pose, to be honest. But yeah, I think a lot of people like it, and it's good to stick on the line and hope that it dies. So yeah, how many thralls? Oh my gosh, you get loads. Okay, let me look at that. Crimson Lords, vampires, thralls, doesn't say, so let's count. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 thralls and 6 vampires, so 16. Here you go. So you can actually get some additional heads with the helmets. That could definitely help you identify the positionals. And the additional hands, well, there you go. Now you've got throwers. So yeah, I think they have definitely adapted, which is really good. So yeah, here you go. Here's your full team. Got all your thralls, got your vampires. They look really sharp. These are, again, really classic vampires. They don't look out of place in like Age of Sigmar. They look, the armor is very like, you know, reminiscent of the old counts. Yeah, again, huge team. It's hard to get over the witch hunter like uniqueness. I mean, we've seen vampires. These are a really good example of vampires, and I think if you want a vampire team, this is like, we're in such a good place where I'm saying like, this is great. There are a lot of options. This is one of the best, and this is so perfect. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Down here they've got Sisters of Faith add-ons, so these look like additional like alternate sculpts for your witch hunters, which is awesome. They've also added dwarfs, so I guess if you want to lean into OWA, there's a couple of dwarf options. They've added a big guy vampire, which is good because we've seen that there is going to be a big guy available to vampires. Either as a star on the roster, I think it was on the roster. And yeah, looks really nice. What I like about Punga sculpting, we'll see that when we unbox, is they have a lot of flat surfaces, which makes painting it so easy. I love painting Punga stuff because you can just get the airbrush and you can just spray the panels, spray the skin, and you're not worried about picking out too much stuff, and it makes the process so fast and so neat. Everything is really well designed. Absolutely love their sculpting from a painting perspective. You have a Ghoul star player. You have Cole von Batcoat, incredible, and Brun Bounty Hunter. So you've got a lot of stars here, which I think you could use as a lot of ones actually, like a halfling star player for like Puggy or something. You've got a squirrel, which is obvious. A dead orchestra, incredible. I haven't seen that before. Okay, yeah, that's a thing. I think a lot of these ones now we have seen. Yeah, here we go. So these are star players they've released before. So obviously that's like a Frankenstein's. They're available to purchase, you know, as part of this Kickstarter as well if you wanted them. So I mean, yeah, I don't think we have these stars with us, but yeah, I mean, literally all the options here. You got the team markers, you got the balls, you got the rerolls, the coach, which is really cool. I love painting up a coach. I think it adds a lot to your team. Vampire coach is incredible. It reminds me, if you've seen What We Do in the Shadows, there's the old decrepit one. Yeah, this guy reminds you of him. You got a Mastiff as your coach assistant. Love it. Bloodhound. Oh, okay. It was a reference to What We Do in the Shadows, because this guy is clearly Guillermo. Okay, I didn't see this one coming. I haven't scrolled this far down. That's incredible. Yeah, that's really good. Prone and hang on. I'm gonna go back now. Do the others look like the other characters? Have they actually sculpted this after that team? Okay, no, none of these particularly like Matt Berry. This one maybe, or yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Moving on. Fanboying over this now. Where were we? Yeah, prone stun markers always useful. Ardent fan. So you got some fan models, which is cool. This guy is super Warhammer like Mordheim. Yeah, this guy like with the flaming head. Yeah, incredible. The mage is beautiful. This is what I love. They put so much effort into their support stuff. The apothecary is so good. Okay, I want this guy in like all of my D&D campaign. The vampire apothecary hasn't been unlocked yet, but by the time this finishes, I would be surprised if that hasn't. 27,500? Yeah, it's pretty close. So, yeah, I mean, that is the Kickstarter. The first 48 hours is gone. You can get an all-in, which is everything you see, for $319, which is a lot, but you get a lot from it. Trust me, I've backed Kickstarters from Punga before, and I'm still building some of the stuff from them. So, you do get a lot. But yeah, I mean, let's actually get into the good stuff. Let's see the models in person. Okay, so I've got a box here of the Witch Hunters. So it's a small little box. Sometimes Punga used to ship in like these big, like quite flat boxes. You sometimes get foam in them. This one, compact, easy postage, cheap postage, nice. You unbox it. Inside, you get a whole bunch of these plastic baggies. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the amount of plastic that is used here. You get so many. I mean, I hang on to them all the time because they're useful for sending stuff to people. But every model has its own little bag, which is a lot of plastic. There must be a little bit of a more, sustainable way of doing that. But anyway, it does keep things nice and neat for when you're, assembling your models. You don't have to just fish for parts. So I do understand why it's done. But yeah, you also get a ton of bases. You get plenty. I think you get more than enough. I've still got loads of backup Punga ones. And what's good about them is that they are Games Workshop scale. So if I have a Games Workshop base with me, do I? I do. Bear with me. Should have prepared this. So here is a Blood Bowl base for Games Workshop. And here is a Punga one. As you can see, the surface is pretty much the same. The height is literally the same, identical, and there's room for magnets underneath. There's even this little recess which a magnet can sit in. If I have one to hand, which I do. So this is a 6mm magnet, I believe, which you get plenty of glue in, and it sits in the middle there. So you can get a good purchase around the side on the lip. So they're really good bases. They're like my preferred go-to ones for Blood Bowl. If you order a team through brushtide.com, there's a good chance it comes on one. So, plenty of bases. You get. So yeah, look. Let's open these up. So this here is a Witch Hunter. So looking at the casting, I mean, this is what Punga do better than anyone really. Is the casting. Let's lower that exposure a little bit, just so we can actually see. Oh, bear with. Okay, that'll do. Yeah, it's really crisp. I mean, it's resin cast. It's not 3D printed. I think the masters are, but you don't see any of the mold lines on. You don't see any of the voxel lines. Yeah, it's really, really neat. Like I said, painting it up is just superb and such a treat. You can see here on the cloak. Yeah, it's. You get definition on the buckles. No layer lines to speak of on the cloak. Clear panels. Yeah, really nice. You've got the stakes there. It's just so sharp. And before I get into too much, I have one I fully assembled that I did earlier to save doing it on camera. So this is an assembled Witch Hunter. The scale is actually really good. Punga can be a little bit dicey with the scale sometimes. There's a high elf in the high elf team, which is quite substantially smaller, and the 3D printing ones can vary. But these seem really good. I mean, I need to grab a comparator. Okay, this is all I could find. We have a werewolf, for example, from Games Workshop. So, I mean, the scale is bang on. It's human-sized. It's strength 3 sized. Well, I mean, these are... Oh, no, these are strength 3. These aren't the vampires. Yeah, and we have a zombie here as well from the necromantic. So, yeah, scale is really good. Additionally, inside... Let's not do that. We have... This is what the lineman would be. With their, studded leather. Again, really crisp. Oh, the ogre. The ogre is really nice. So, let's unbox this. So, yeah. Ogre, really hench. Great definition on the face. You got a, superb moustache. You got this lovely fabric, which is, again, so paintable. Like, the definition between the, armor panels and the cloths. It's so paintable. They definitely make these with painting in mind. And also, assembly-wise, yes, they're resin, but the cleanup is minimal. I mean, there's barely any mold lines on here. You may need to scrape one down here. Yeah, and then when you go to put the hands on, everything has a plug and a peg. So it literally just plugs in, and it's easy. So, oh, if you do, as always, I shield this to everyone. You're using super glue, which obviously you should do for resin. Try and pick up some super glue activator too. This stuff makes life so easy. So let's say I'm building this. Bit of super glue on here. Also, I found I don't need to wash Punga resin. You may want to. You may get some that are a bit shiny, but I don't usually, and I've been fine. I don't usually have to scrub it. Bit of activator. Do this in a ventilated space. And joins. Hold it for a couple of seconds. And it's gone. That ain't going anywhere. So, yeah, if you want to use super glue, get some activator, and you won't be there for hours holding bits in place. So, in comparison to the Witch Hunter, the Ogre obviously got the heft. Still fits on a 32, yeah, just about. Let's get one. Yeah, so just about a 32. I'd probably do a 40. I don't think they supply a 40 in here, though. Oh, no, they do. Look at that. They've thought of it. So there is a 40mm in the base. Sorry, in the bag. 40mm base in the bag. And he fits comfortably on a 40mm base. So, yep. Brilliant job. Love to see that. So, onto the other positionals. We have in here. This looks to be a bodyguard. Yeah, so we've got a lot of beefy armor here. So there's a little bit of support remaining on this one. On camera. There we go. So you can just snap that off. Take a knife to the little nub there. But then this will sit in. Yeah, a little bit to scrape off here as well. This is confusing the camera. Okay. So yeah, and when that's joined, really clearly defined parts. Really love it. Cool. Anyway, so I'll go on to the positionals I have got built. So here is a lineman. So yep, really lovely trousers, really clean definition in the stripes. It's going to make painting that very easy. Great face definition. Yeah, phenomenal. Bodyguard is here compared to a lineman. So a lot more hench. They're going to stand out very, very cleanly, which is good because the nobility ones can be a bit challenging sometimes. I think as an ability team, this is, brilliant. I think as a human team as well, you get 4 of these. You could use these as your blitzers if you want as well. But then you're not using the iconic witch hunters, which is a shame. The catchers, really good. So this is one of the more pathetic looking flagellants. They've got all these armor bits that are hanging off them. Move it closer. Yeah. Really nice. They do look strength 2 as well, even compared to the humans. They just look a little bit a little bit more frail, so that works brilliantly. And your thrower, you know, confident looking guy, better on humans than he is on ability, which is a shame and a travesty. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the witch hunters. You get a lot of things in the box, you know, you get a lot of plastic, but plenty to keep you busy. I don't know if I have the halflings. Oh, no, I do. Look at that. Yeah, they've sent these two. So, let's just get one of them out. Look at this little guy. He's so good. The attitude on him. Yeah, huge fan of them. I want a full team of these, please. Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll get that. Get Witch Hunter halflings. Alright, so yeah, that's the Witch Hunters team. I'm going to move on to the Vampires team now. Okay, so moving on to the Vampires now. If you thought the last box was compact, this box is tiny. I mean, you know, here's a mobile phone. It's like, it's so small. And they got a full team in here. So, let's open this up. And it's rammed. And this is with me having built two of the models already. So, inside you get your box crammed full of plastic, which we know and love. But inside, I mean, it's a full vampire team here. So, yeah, let's take a look at one of these, which are the Thralls. So, again, 3 parts. It's very simple. I'm going to lower this exposure, actually. I tried that before. Let's do it again. Oh, got my... Oh, no, ruined it. Ruined it. There we go. Right. Edit that out, please, Ben. He might not. Right. Let's just move that down. There we go. Be able to see these a little bit easier, probably. So, yeah. So you get this great definition for this textured armor. So what's it called? I can't remember what that is called. It's got a name. But yeah, it's an awesome leather. It looks very vampire. And they've got their masks. Again, great knee pads. I love these Punga knee pads. They make me so happy to paint. Arms, as we said before, they got a peg and they got a socket, and they just socket right in. Barely a join. I think I've had to use green stuff on Punga like 3 times. So you've got a thrall there, thrall there, thrall there. Again, we've got 10 of these thralls, so you're gonna have plenty. Here, this looks like a vampire. And I can tell because there are high heels and spikes. So let's get one of these out. So this is quite a lot of parts. So as Punga models go, this one is in quite a lot of bits. So you have a leg there with the remaining stiletto here. Sorry, I'm trying to do this on camera so I can see it better. Yeah, so you got that. You've got the torso. You've got an arm, another arm, the head, and hair. So I think those are the most parts I've seen on a Punga model. This one looks a little bit fiddly to assemble. But again, the definition is just bang on. Okay, exposure is too low again. Let's go up. Let's turn it up. There we go. But yeah, I mean, these iconic vampire plating, the spike, this is pure vampires. This is honestly what I wanted. It's funny now that we've got such good vampire options coming out, because it's always been a team that has kind of struggled for representation in miniatures. And again, this is perfect. This is everything I would have wanted. And especially now that they have the head options and the ball options for the positionals, that does really help. So yeah, carrying on. Another vampire there with the this one has the like great countess head. But yeah, another thrall, another thrall. The vampire here. This one is in a lot less parts. This is just 4 parts. So they've got the torso and the head as one piece there. Face definition unmatched. Whatever Punga's resin casting are, whatever their resin casting process is, it's brilliant. Look at the hair. Fantastic. And again, plenty of bases. Again, more than I think you need, so you will probably have spares. But great to see, and all in this tiny little box. So I've got some models pre-built as before. So moving on to that, let's take a look at one of the vampires. It's got this vampire built here. So yeah, great pose. Spikes here, be a little bit worried about them on the pitch. Maybe breaking off, and these leg spikes, you know, you might want to triple varnish them. But yeah, just the detail is so good. They've even got, okay, right, exposure up for this, because they have sculpted the teeth so well. Is that going to show up? Come on, focus, you can do this. Yeah, they've got the vampire teeth sculpted inside there. Little tiny bits of resin, so watch you don't cut them off. So yeah, and here is a thrall next to him. So proportions wise, the thralls are actually arguably bigger. And seeing as vampires are strength 4, then yeah, that's the thing. But vampires are like overpowered, you know. They can kind of get away with it. Of any of them. But yeah, the thralls, they're really solid minis. Like they're thick, they're chunky, they're weighty. And yeah, they look great. I mean, again, standard humans, something that Blood Bowl I think just needs more of, like humanoid sculpts. So it's really good to see this. And it's really nicely done, perfectly executed. No big guy in this box. That is an add-on. So if that does end up becoming part of it, then you know you may want to consider that. But yeah, other than that, oh, let's compare it to Games Workshop. So here's a vampire against the werewolf, your classic rivalry. Again, scaling is really good on these models. Yeah, great to see. So, I mean, that is everything. That has been the Blood and Flame Witch Hunters and Vampires themes. Link will be in the description to the campaign. There's probably going to be a couple of days left of it, so make sure you get in there if you want it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to having this Witch Hunter team put up. Like, I've been waiting so long for this, and it's going to be one of my favorite teams, I think. I've never ran humans in League before, so this will be a really good opportunity to do so. So yeah, I think that's everything. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Or come join us on YouTube Members or in Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to some content, some loot, early access to basically everything we do, as well as regular competitions. Or you can pick up some Bonehead Podcast loot either on our website at boneheadpodcast.com. We've got the Dungeon Bowl things, we've got tokens and stuff like that, or on our Spreadshirt site as well. Everything you do just helps us make more content and hopefully do it of better quality. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking.